What's going on, everybody, man? It's your guy, Nick Frazier, one half of the Water Cooler Talk podcast, man. Tonight, we're talking about this passing game for Auburn, man. Could it be one of the best that we've ever seen in Auburn? We're going to talk about it right after this. Y'all get ready. Let's go.
Boys and girls of all ages, you're tuned into the Water Cooler Talk podcast, the biggest podcast in the world. Yeah.
You are now tuned in to Water Cooler Talks, covering everything you love about college football, especially everything going down in the SEC Conference. So, if you love college football, you need to lock in. And now, your hosts, Nick Frazier and Marcus Fitzpatrick.
Yes, sir, everybody, man. Thank y'all so much for rocking with us here tonight around the water cooler. I am your guy, your friend, your cousin, your brother, Nick Frazier, one half of the Water Cooler Talk podcast, the coolest podcast in your ear. Water Cooler Talk Sports, man. We are here tonight, man. Before we get started, as always, man, we appreciate y'all for rocking with us, man. Follow us on Facebook at the Water Cooler Talk podcast. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Water Cooler Talk. Follow us on Twitter. Go right. If you have a Twitter, go right now to Twitter. And if you're not following us, follow us at CoolestPod23 on Twitter. Follow us right now. Trying to get the Twitter follow up, trying to get the Twitter fam going. And of course, subscribe, like, share, and hit the notification bell button here on YouTube. We're trying to grow our YouTube, man. We're trying to grow our subscribers. We stuck at 581. We need 19 more people to get to 600. So tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell their cousin to tell their uncle and their brother, to tell his sister and his mother, to tell them to come on over to around the water cooler with us, man, and join the family, man. We're trying to add more cubes to the cooler, man, and we appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us here around the water cooler, man. As always, man, I don't want to belabor the point because, you know, we got a lot of stuff. We got some stuff to talk about. We got stuff to talk about, man. The past couple of nights, we've been talking about this Ross Dellinger report and how it potentially is going to impact college football moving forward. Tonight, let's get off the what ifs. Well, we're going to talk about some what ifs tonight, but let's get off the creative stuff. Let's get off the creative stuff tonight. Let's talk about this offense. Let's talk about this passing game that we all want to see, improve this year, ladies and gentlemen. As you can tell from the thumbnail and from the title, Jackson, Cam, Singleton. Oh my, this potentially could be one of the best, if not the best, passing attacks we've seen in Auburn in a long time. If you can help me jog my memory, I don't think there has been. Okay, let's take a look. Let's take a look. Let's take a look back. Yeah, this possibly could be one of the best passing attacks we've seen at Auburn in the past 20 years, 20 to 25 years. I mean, this is something to look at, ladies and gentlemen. This is something that we potentially could be proud of by the end of the season. Ladies and gentlemen. And we appreciate you. And we appreciate this, man. We gotta appreciate this. There's a quote in the chat right now that JT put up that I'm gonna take a look at when we get to the chat that rings true for this. Ladies and gentlemen, Pro Football Focus. Max Chadwick from Pro Football Focus, he put out these tweets a couple of days ago. I think he put one out yesterday, one about 2 days ago. He says that Auburn, according to Pro Football Focus, Auburn is the only school with a wide receiver duo to have two guys in the top 10 in the 2025 season. You're talking about Eric Singleton. You're talking about Cam Coleman. You're talking about electricity. You're talking about how potentially this thing could potentially be great and how we potentially could see probably one of the most historic offenses in Auburn history this coming up season in 2025. Potentially. Because there's a lot of talent. There is a lot of excitement. There's a lot of production. That's the big thing. There's a lot of production that's at the wide receiver position as well. In the words of Dukes and Scoops, shout out to Dukes. He said, all we really need is a quarterback that can just play point guard. And you see what he said about Jackson Arnold. He said, this is an exciting Auburn team. He said, if Jackson Arnold can live up to his potential, they could be a dangerous team in the SEC. You understand why? You understand why a lot of people, especially me, are high on Auburn this year. I'm high on Auburn because of what Auburn has coming back. We're going to go through it again. You look at the offensive line, Xavier Chaplin at that left tackle position. Excuse me. Dylan Wade, Connor Lew, Jeremiah Wright, Mason Murphy, or Xavier Miller is going to be your right tackle. That's a solidified offensive line right there. Not to mention, you have Damari Austin coming back. You have Jeremiah Cobb coming back. You have Darrell Robinson, who came in through the portal. Omar Mapson, and of course Alvin Henderson. You have all of this talent there. But when you look at this wide receiver room, you look at what production is coming back. Last year, Cam Coleman, 2 yards away from being a 600-yard receiver. Eight touchdowns, averaging like 16, almost 17 yards a catch last year. Malcolm Simmons, just under 500 yards receiving last year. Big play opportunity. Electric when he get the ball in his hands. I'm telling you, man, this potentially could be something serious. Then you go in the portal and you go get Horatio Fields, another big guy that can go up and get the ball too as well in the red zone. A guy that can that's a mismatch. He could be a mismatch for a lot of these guys, for a lot of these receivers, and for a lot of these DBs in the SEC conference. And then, not to mention, you go out and you get the number one wide receiver in the portal from Georgia Tech and Eric Singleton Jr. You go out and get him. If I'm not mistaken, he's a 1,500 plus guy. He's a 1,500 yard plus guy, or just at 1,500 yards in the last 2 seasons when he was at Georgia Tech. The production that Auburn has in this wide receiver room. And with what Coach Hugh Freeze wants to do in this offense, with him wanting to be able to throw the ball around the yard, with him being able wanting to have explosive plays, I've been known for saying that Coach Hugh Freeze wants to have at least 2 explosive plays per quarter. He wants to at least have that. You line up Cam Coleman, you line up Eric Singleton, you line up Malcolm Simmons, you line up Horatio Fields. And I forgot about our guy Perry Thompson. You line him up there as well. You line him up. What secondary in the SEC? What secondary in the nation? What secondary in college football is going to be able to defend that? Because you will not be able to double team that. You just won't be able to happen, because if you double team, guess what? Somebody else going to be open, and guess what? That's just a playmaker that's just ready to make a play. So I'm going to tell you this year, man, be on the lookout. The reason why I'm excited about this, man, is because there's legit athletes at every single position across in this passing game. Even in the backfield. You got guys in the backfield that can catch the ball out the backfield. There is talent, there's production, there is athleticism in this wide receiver room. And then you got the 2 biggest ones, Eric Singleton and Cam Coleman. Those are guys right there, man. These guys right here are going to be the ones that are going to be a problem for a lot of guys, for a lot of secondaries in this conference. They're going to be a problem for a lot of secondaries in this conference, which, in my opinion, will more than likely open up the game for probably like a Malcolm Simmons, maybe a Bryce Cain. Do we see Bryce Cain? Because we forgot about Bryce Cain. He part of that freeze four as well. So I'm telling you, man, this potentially could be not one of the greatest offensive output performance that we've seen in Auburn history. It could be that good. Auburn could potentially be a 7,000 yard offense at the end of the season. Think about that. They could be a 6,000 yard offense at the end of the season. I might be over exaggerating that. We can say 55. We can say 52, 53, but I'm gonna put it up there. 6,000. We could be a 6,000 yard offense at the end of the season. Is it possible? It's a possibility. We could. Having a quarterback in this thing is going to be having a quarterback in this situation is going to be very crucial as well. As he stated right here, man, Jackson Arnold, if he lives up, that's the key in that situation. If Jackson Arnold lives up to his potential, you want a 5-star plus guy just for no reason, man. Not every guy coming out of high school with 5-star plus guys, 5-star across all platforms. Everybody don't get that. Everybody don't get that type of treatment. But if Jackson Arnold if he can do that, if he can live up to his potential, Auburn's going to be dangerous. This offense is going to score points. We will not have the situation of where, shout out to Ed Darby, we would not have a situation where if we score 21 points, we'll be like, are we going to be able to stop scoring? Like, are they going to be able to stop scoring us? Like, the floor is going to be 28. You know what I'm saying? Like, we literally have a chance to be this. We literally have a chance to see something historic on the Plains this year at Auburn. We literally have a chance to see some historic stuff this season on the Plains at Auburn when it comes to this passing attack. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think the best passing year in Auburn history was Damian Craig. And I think that year, yards wise, it was 3,227 yards, if I'm not mistaken. It's what he was. The best overall passing year at Auburn was Damian Craig, and it was 3,227 yards. It's the best passing year. You tell me right now that you don't think that with what we have, with potentially what we have coming in this offense, that we potentially could have that Jackson Arnold could potentially have that. Could potentially have that plus more. Let's look at this offense, man. Look at what this potential offense looks like. You have Cam Coleman. You have Eric Singleton and Simmons, who potentially going to play the slot. And you have Horatio Fields and Perry Thompson at that H position. The offensive line looks solidified. The Y position. That Y position could potentially could be a split end. So you could probably have Singleton and Simmons on the field at the same time. So you're talking going 4 wide with Coleman, Singleton, Simmons, and Horatio Fields or Perry Thompson. So, I mean, we sitting here and we looking at this and we're saying, like, I just want people to understand, like, how historic this actually could be for Auburn going for this season, bro. Like, when you put those athletes on the field, when you put that type of speed, that type of athleticism on the field, there is no secondary in the country. I'm not gonna say no. I'm not. Let me back off that. I'm not gonna say there is none. There are very few secondaries in the country that can guard that, and that will be able to stop that. All we have to do is just have a quarterback that can play point guard. If we are able to come out and let's just say we're able to average 280 plus yards passing the game. Let me do the math on that real quick. Let me just do the math on that. Let me do the math on that. If we averaging 280 yards passing the game times 12 games, that's 3,300 yards at minimum. 3,360 yards at minimum that our quarterback would have for the season. Averaging at minimum 280 yards. If we were to average, let's just say if we were to average 320 yards per game, that's 3,800. That's 3,840 yards for the season for the quarterback. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. There is a lot of optimism to have about this Auburn offense moving forward. There is a lot of optimism to have. There's talent at the receiver position. There's talent at the quarterback position. The offensive line is together. The offensive line is, besides Chaplin, you have Wright, Lou, Wade, and Miller returning. Chaplin's going to come in. He's going to step in and be that guy that's going to protect the blind side for the quarterback. But besides that, you have continuity on that offensive line. So Auburn's offensive line should be one of the better offensive lines in the country this year, especially in the SEC. They should definitely be one of the best in the SEC. So when we sit here and we say that there's no excuse for Auburn this year, like when you look at the roster and you look at what the production that you have coming back and you look at what these guys are putting on the field, what this offense potentially could look like. And you go back and look at what Coach Hugh Freeze had at Ole Miss, what he did at Liberty when he had a quarterback. When you go back and you look at this and you take a look at this and you just be like, man, bro, the talent that we have is probably head and shoulders better than what he's had at other places. Just imagine what he can do with this. What can he do with this? This could potentially be one of the most historic offensive outputs that we've seen in Auburn history. And I'm trying to be optimistically encouraged about this, y'all. I'm gonna put that on a t-shirt and we're gonna sell it. Optimistically encouraged. I'm trying to say optimistically. I'm trying to find all the positives about this because I hear so much negative stuff about Auburn. I do. I hear so much negativity out there. I read so much negativity about it. But when I look at this roster and I look at what the offense looked like, and I look at what Coach DJ Durkin did with this defense last year when it was a young defense, and then now he's coming back and he's probably gonna have to play more freshmen on defense and bring them in. When I look at that and I see that, and I'm like, man, I'm optimistically encouraged about what potentially this could look like. Like this could be like if you've been with us, man, if you've been with us here, man, we've had shows talking about could this be the start of a dynastic run? Will Jackson Arnold be a Heisman finalist? A lot of people call me crazy for saying stuff like that. Some people was like, man, that's weird. Why would you say that? But when you sit down and you actually analyze this offense and you analyze it on paper, when you analyze it on paper and you look at what Auburn's coming back, you have a 600-yard receiver, coming back. You have a receiver that's over the past 2 years right at 1,500 yards receiving. You have another receiver that's a big body guy that can catch the ball down in the red zone, which is where we've had problems at. In this offense. And with the way that this offense is tailored, when you got big bodies down in the end zone, when you got a Horatio Fields, a Perry Thompson, and you got a Cam Coleman, and then you have a Eric Singleton who can just go up and get the ball just like a big guy, even though he's only like 5'11". When you 5'11", 6 foot. When you got those type of athletes down there in the red zone that can do that, and all you need to have is a quarterback that is just accurate enough to put the ball in a spot to where those guys can have a chance to go make a play on the ball. Let athletes be athletes. Of course, we want to see him run the ball in the red zone as well, too. But as we've all seen this past year, we had what could have been a Heisman Trophy quarterback. Heisman Trophy running back in our room, and I will say he wasn't utilized correctly. So that tells me that this offense that Coach Hugh Freeze wants to throw this thing around, he wants to spread it out a little bit. That tells me everything I need to know. Listen. I'm telling you right now, man. I'm telling y'all right now. People think that when I say things like Auburn should be a playoff team this year. People be like, when people hear me say that I think Jackson Arnold will be a Heisman finalist this year. And I'm going to add something to that. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say Cam Coleman or Eric Singleton needs to be put in that conversation as well. Because they're going to be your two main, they're going to be the two main recipients of where he's going to be throwing the ball at a lot. Don't get it twisted now. They're going to be the main recipients. You talking about guys that potentially, you saw what Jeremiah Smith did at Ohio State this past year. Cam Coleman can have that type season this year. He really can have that type season this year. Telling you, man, this could be one of, scratch that. This could be the most historic offensive output we have seen at Auburn University. I'm telling y'all, man. I'm telling you, man. This. I'm trying to stay optimistic. And I feel like I am. This could be amazing. This could be amazing, man. This could be the year. This could be the year that Auburn could make a run. It could be the most unexpected run that Auburn could make for a championship. Am I saying they'll win it? No, I'm not saying they'll win it. But because I'm not saying they will, but I'm saying this could be the run where they just be like, man, this is what Auburn could potentially be moving forward. Now, we can talk about years down the road later, but right now, this season, this could be it, man. This could be something special, man. Shout out to y'all in the chat, man. Let's take a look in the chat. Let's take a look, see what's going on before we move on a little bit, man. Shout out to y'all, man. JT, he said, "Ooh, War Eagle to you, my guy, JT." This is the comment that JT put up, man. JT said, "Man, be thankful for what you have, because you'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never have enough." Oprah Winfrey. That's a mouthful right there. That is a mouthful, ladies and gentlemen. Auburn Dad said, War Eagle, man. What's going on, Auburn Dad? Hope all is good with you, man. Auburn Dad said, man, I believe on paper we have one of the most electric group of skilled players on offense to make us be able to beat anyone. I mean, listen, that is not wishful thinking. That is the truth. That statement right there is the truth. On paper, Auburn is one of the best teams in the country. They are. It's other things that have us worried as Auburn fans. It's the other things that have us worried as Auburn fans. That's all it is. JT said that quote above for me represents this as I can either be grateful for the players we have, or I can be mad we don't have the best roster in the country. Or I can be mad we don't have the best roster in the country. Yeah, but here's the thing, JT. This is what I say. You can be grateful because Auburn definitely has one of the best rosters in the country. That's what I'm saying. That's what I would say. I would put our roster up against anybody. I would put our roster up against anybody. The Huggy Beard himself, the legend of Sweet Sugar Bow. What's going on, boy? I hope you're feeling good, man. Hope all is good with you, man. Everybody speaking to Huggy. The Huggy Beard himself is doing good. That's all it is. Excuse me. Auburn Dad comes in and said, man, just want to say all these topics the Auburn fan in me wants to bug hard, but the PTSD won't let me do it. I feel you. It's that Auburn PTSD. That's what it is. The PTSD, the thing in your mind to where you like, man, is this too good to be true? Is this too good to be true? That's what it is. Like, this can't happen to us. Because when it's going good, something always bad happens. So I completely understand what you're saying. He said, I have followed on X. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you follow us on X right there. Follow at CoolestPod23 on Twitter, X. Follow us there, man. We appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us there, man. We're trying to grow that, man. So make sure you follow us right there on X at CoolestPod23 and subscribe here on YouTube and hit the notification bell here on YouTube. 19 more to go, man. We're trying to hit 600. Trying to hit 600 subscribers, man. We appreciate y'all so much. Would follow on TikTok, but I'm too old to have a TikTok. Hey, it's cool. It's all right. But you know what you can do, JT? You can follow us right there on Twitter at CoolestPod23. You can't do that, man. We appreciate y'all so much, man. My guy, Fresh Bo. What up, Fresh Boy? From Beham. What's happening with you, man? Nothing much, man. What's happening with you, man? I'm just chilling, keeping my head above water. Hope everything going good with you, man. That's what I'm talking about. Fresh Boy, what's up? What's happening, Nick? Nothing much. The Huggy Beard. Just chilling, man. Just doing my part. Just keeping my head above water, man. I can't do too much more, man. That's all I can do. Damian was part of the best in the past. Yes, he was. 3,227 yards passing, if I'm not mistaken. I think Jackson Arnold could do that. I think Jackson Arnold, with this cast of weapons that he has around him this year at Auburn, I think he could surpass that. I think he can. I think he can surpass that. It's too much talent, man. Eric Singleton is too dynamic with the ball in his hands. Cam Coleman is too dynamic. He's too great of a player for him not to have this breakout season this year. I'm telling you, man. Said I heard PT was coming along very well too. I'm pretty sure you're talking about, you're talking about Perry Thompson. I was about to say the only PT, boy. No. he said chill. He said no, he was like, Peyton, throw him back. No. Let me stop, man. JT said very few secondaries could defend Auburn receiving core last year. The plays weren't there because of PT and Hugh Freeze. This is the thing. That is very true. That's very true. If you go back and look at some of those plays, man, and some of those plays, man, a lot of those receivers were running wide open. They were running open. Whether it was quarterback decision making, not reading the field, whether it was a miscommunication between the coach and the receiver, or whatever it was, and or something like that, it didn't materialize. It didn't metastasize, I guess. But this year, with everything that's been said about Jackson Arnold, how they feel Jackson Arnold fits into this system, how Jackson Arnold, how they feel he wasn't used correctly at Oklahoma, how they feel that he is the guy for this system. If they feel that way, I tell you this much right here, man. A lot of stuff they saying, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard if things go wrong. It's gonna be very hard for things to go wrong for them to explain this, because a lot of stuff has been said. Yes, sir. Huge shout out to our guy Hallbone, man. Turnovers lost us games last year. Definitely Arkansas, definitely Cal, definitely Oklahoma. Those 3 games right there, definitely Georgia, definitely those 4 games right there, definitely cost us with us being in the game. Actually, definitely cost us. Turnovers kept us from 7 to 8 wins. Yeah, that's true. Actually, Auburn should have been a 9-win team last year, if you ask me. Auburn had 4 more wins in them last year. But hey, I don't know, man. Cal, Oklahoma, Mizzou, all should have been wins. You're right. Cal, Oklahoma, Mizzou, Arkansas. I would probably put Vanderbilt in there. That you could say that should have been a win. People would probably disagree with me about this Georgia one, but I think Georgia could have been a win. I mean, you driving the ball you driving down the field into their territory, first play of the fourth quarter on 4th down. You get a first down there, momentum slides your way. And you like 38, 37 yards away from the end zone. Who knows what could happen at that point in time? And you was only down by 10 points, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm telling you, man, I think Auburn had a chance in that game. But hey, things happen, I guess. I want the 5+ Gatorade Player of the Year Texas 2 years ago. Agreed. That's the whole point, man. That's the whole point of this right here. He's Matt Chadwick, man. He's saying Auburn is an exciting team, and it's not like the nation doesn't see what's going on at Auburn. The biggest part of this sentence right here, when it comes to Jackson Arnold, if Jackson Arnold can live up to his potential, if he does that, Auburn. Let me see if let me understand this. I think Jackson Arnold's potential in this offense, and this is a very prerequisite before we even see him in the spring, before we even see him in the fall. I think Jackson Arnold's potential, his full potential in this offense, I give you a stat line. If everything goes well, if everything goes correctly, if it goes to plan, it's a utopian. Jackson Arnold could be a 3,860 yards passing. He could have 37 touchdowns. He could be 67% completion. He could have about 10 interceptions. In rushing, he'll probably have about 400, somewhere between 400 and 500 yards rushing. I think that's at his full potential in his offense. Meaning that if he does that, that means that we probably have 2,000-yard receivers in his offense. One Eric Singleton, one Cam Coleman. That is the reason why it is so, this could be historic. We could have a 3,500+ yard passer 30, and we have a 3,700 yard plus pass at full potential. We have a 3,700 yard plus passer. We could possibly have 2,000 yard receivers because of just defense. How are you going to be able to cover all four of those guys, all four of those athletes on the field at the same time? You're not going to be able to. So you're going to have a lot of one-on-one situations in this offense. And I tell you this much, Eric Singleton, dynamic route runner. Cam Coleman, if he can get free, it's over. You put the ball in his vicinity, he's gonna go get it. It's a lot of big plays that's gonna be made in this offense this year. A lot of big plays. The potential is there. At full potential, man. This offense, this is why I say this could be an historic output of offensive performance this year for Auburn on offense. But everything has to go just as planned. We can't be having the miscommunication. They talking about alignment. They talking about there's alignment at Auburn from administration all the way down to the coaching staff. They told us that last year a little bit too. But I mean, the thing is, man, there are other things that have us, in the words of Auburn Dad, the PTSD that we have for Auburn. There are other things that just bother us, man. And we just got to be like, man, like, what is that going to look like? Goodness, man. That's the problem. Oof. Arkansas too, yeah. Should have been a win. Very true, man. Man. Said my neighbor said they Bama. So I guess your neighbor is a Bama fan. It's going to get our running back Cobb. I told him they would have a hard time finding him. Yeah, I don't know, man. Listen, spring portal is coming. So we're hitting this lull right now in college football. So this time until, just so y'all know, spring practice starts. Last time I checked, I think spring practice starts March 25th. So up from now until then, we're just in a lull. You've seen a lot of stuff to where Auburn has a lot of official visits coming in, a lot of guys coming in this 26 class that they're trying to get with official visits. So you'll be hearing a lot of recruiting news coming out. But right after spring practice, the spring portal opens, and it's a 10-day portal window, if I'm not mistaken. So once March hit, all the way probably to the 1st of May, middle of May, it's going to be a lot of news coming out. Then, of course, they just brought the news out today that Big Cat is going to be April 5th, the weekend before the spring game. So, hey, man, this is going to be great. That Oklahoma was throwing career at Auburn all in one. Very true, man. Wow, man. All right, so you think Cobb needs to start over Austin? He said because he don't trust Austin at all. All right, I understand where you're coming from with the fumbles and everything. I completely understand why you feel that way. Man. Yes, sir, Hugh. Yes, sir, Harbaugh, man. We still praying for you, man. Still praying for everything going on with you, man, and in your family, man. If you need us, let us know, man. He said, dude, a Gatorade Player of the Year just don't go bad in 1 year. That's my point. That's my point. This coaching staff said when they went out and got Jackson Arnold. And you got to understand this. They intentionally wanted Jackson Arnold. Jackson Arnold was the more I think about this and the more I look back on it, and the more I hear things that Coach Hugh Freeze said at one point in time. I remember there was an interview that Coach Hugh Freeze did, and he was like, he was talking about the portal, and he was saying, there's a SEC quarterback at another school, and I'm friends with the coach, and he wants to come to our school. I was like, huh? What? And now that I think about it, and I'm looking at this, and I'm like, Jackson Arnold was an SEC quarterback at Oklahoma. So I'm guessing, is he friends with one of the coaches at Oklahoma? Brent Venables, maybe? I don't know. But the thing is, I'm looking at it, and I'm like, man, excuse me. You had Malik Murphy. If you remember this, during the initial portal period, Malik Murphy came in the day before Jackson Arnold was coming in. Malik Murphy came in for a visit, left, and the word on the street, the word that came out was they didn't lock him down. That's what they said. They didn't lock him down, even though Malik Murphy was ready to commit. But then Jackson Arnold comes in, and the whole time the news that you heard about Jackson Arnold was going to Mississippi State. Jackson Arnold was going to Mississippi State with Jeff Lebby. That's where he was going. Jackson Arnold did not leave Auburn. He left Auburn, committed to Auburn. So Auburn knew who they wanted. And then they came out and said that they felt that he was misused at Oklahoma the year before. They felt that he wasn't used properly. So apparently they have a plan for this guy moving forward. So that's what makes me excited that you went out and got the guy. You didn't wait this time. This guy came in. You had a quarterback. You had a very capable quarterback in Malik Murphy that would have came in and did everything that you need to do in this offense and would have succeeded. But you let him walk out to have this guy come in. That puts more pressure on this coaching staff because you went out and got your guy. We can give you a little grace on Payton Thorne because you got Payton Thorne in the spring portal of your first year. You didn't get Payton Thorne. Payton Thorne went on campus until the summertime, your first year there. Now, what we do give you hell at is the next year, you had the opportunity to go out and get a quarterback, but you didn't. Knowing what we just saw. Knowing what we just saw the first year with Payton Thorne, but you didn't. But this time around, you went out and got the guy that you wanted. That tells me everything. So if everything messes up, it's on you this year. That's what it is. Hugh Jonte Cook. Woo, man, that's funny. Thanks, Auburn Dad. She's in the hospital tonight. But oh man, we praying for her, man. Hope everything going good, man. Hope everything goes well. Hope everything works out in your favor. That's what it is. That's what it is, man. Yes, Jesus hopes she gets. Yeah, but ooh, man, we praying for you, man. Praying for you, man. Ooh. Auburn Dad said, man, coaching has us worried. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Coaching has us worried. But the reason why I am to the point to where I'm like, man, I want to give Hugh Freeze. I want to give Coach Hugh Freeze a chance this year for the simple fact because everything that he said the past 2 years, he's went out and done it. He said we needed better receivers in 2023. Okay. 2024, you go out and sign this class of wide receivers. Then you say we need to go out and get a quarterback that won't throw the ball to somebody else. Well, guess what you did? I just mentioned it just a few minutes ago in my soliloquy there. You went out and got the guy that you wanted in Jackson Arnold. You went out and got him. Okay. All right, cool. All right. The offensive line is solidified. You went out and solidified the left tackle spot with a all ACC type guard, all ACC type tackle. You got Dylan Wade, Connor Lew, Jeremiah Wright, and Mason Murphy back. So I'm sitting here saying, look, bro, the pieces are there. You actually went out and got some pieces double over. You basically went out and got pieces twice. You know what I'm saying? You got backups to the major pieces. So we can't be having this conversation mid-season saying, look, something's going wrong and the reason why we ain't winning is because this ain't happening. Nah, bro. We ain't having that this year, bro. We ain't having that. We can't have that. We can't have that excuse no more. We can't have it. I'm just saying, we can't have that excuse no more. Jonathan Taylor says, man, I'll put our roster up against anyone. The difference between the rosters is the other teams have the hell of a coach behind. Man, we all have the same trepidation. We all have that same trepidation, man. It's coaching. It's coaching. Appreciate that, man. If y'all don't know what JT talking about, follow us on Twitter at CoolersPod23 and subscribe, like, share here on YouTube as well, man. Yeah, keeping the head above the water cooler. That's all we can do, man. You already know. I'm not even gonna put it up here, man. My guy, Ed Darby. Ed Darby in the chat, he said 2025 season is all on the head coach and the offensive staff. I don't want to talk about our defense, special teams, or the roster. If I hear we didn't prepare them or I was not in the meeting, malpractice. I wish, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it because that was a privileged conversation. I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna leave that alone. But Ed Darby, I understand exactly what you're saying right there. If I hear the part that I'm talking about is if I hear we didn't prepare them or I was not in the meeting, malpractice. I'm gonna ask you this question. I'm gonna ask y'all this question and y'all tell me. If y'all hear that this year, is that cause? Is that grounds? Let me know what y'all think. Unfortunately, in Auburn case, too often then not. If ifs, and buts were candy and nuts, we all have. Listen, man. Listen, man. Listen, we just got to be better. We just got to be better this year, man. He said he ain't heard that one before, man. That's funny. He said, I got Ed Darby said, I will be great in game management, play calling, and post-game conference. I don't care about anything else this year. Me and you, Ed, are on the same page right here. This is how I feel. I was just gonna be grading, really, I was gonna be grading game management and play calling. I did not think about the post-game part. So now I got to look at that as well, too. So I got to look at that as well, too. But it's going to be interesting to see, man. It's going to be interesting to see. Tell it, Nick. True. Yeah, that is true. It is true about that, about the quarterback position. If that happens mid-season, DJ holla. y'all ready for Coach DJ Durkin to be the head coach at Auburn? I'm guessing that's what it sounds like. Big dog Huggy trying to lay low, but if I have to hear making me want to act the fool, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, if the first inkling that we get that, I'm gonna be like, bro, it's over. It's over. I'm like, what are we doing here, bro? What are we doing? Oh man, malpractice. The door is to the left. You right. You basically telling me that's grounds. All right, JT, man, we appreciate you, man, so much for rocking with us here around the water cooler, man. And at that point, ladies and gentlemen, before we get up out of here, man, look at this. Look at this graphic again. Auburn is the only team with a wide receiver duo where both of them are ranked in the top 10. This is from Pro Football Focus. Mad Chadwick at Pro Football Focus. He also stated that this is an exciting Auburn team. And the biggest part of that statement right there, if Jackson Arnold can live up to his potential, they can be a dangerous team in the SEC. And I've told you what I think. Jackson Arnold's potential is. His full potential is at Auburn. Everything perfect. 3,800 yards, 37 touchdowns, 67% completion, 10 interceptions, 400 to 500 yards rushing. That's what I think. This could be the most historic offensive output season that we have ever seen in Auburn history. This is what it is. And when you pair it with what we have on the field, you have Cam Coleman, you have Eric Singleton and Malcolm Simmons, Horatio Fields and Perry Thompson. You have the Y position out there with Frazier and Howard, but sometimes that Y could be split out. And you can have Singleton and Simmons on the field at the same time in a 4-wide position, in a 4-wide set. You have an offensive line with Lou, Wade, and Wright, and Miller coming back. And then you go out and get an all ACC type tackle to protect the blind side of the quarterback. There is nothing on this offense that tells me that this could not be the most historic offensive output ever. I'm telling you, man. Ladies and gentlemen, optimistically encouraged. I'm going to put it on a t-shirt. It's true, Nick. It's always if the pan's out and if it happens, but it was the reason we failed. You got a point there. You're very true. And I don't want to hear that. As a fan, I don't want to hear that. It's just as a fan, I don't want to hear that. But as somebody that is trying to get into the building and trying to cover the team, I want to understand why. Coach Dirk has a nice ring to it. Yes, it does, man. Wait, here's the $1 million question. All right, Huggy, what is the $1 million question, Huggy, before we get up out of here? If the ultimate result is AU hires Coach DJ as head coach and he returns AU back to the real AU. All right, let's have this conversation before we get up out of here. Who gets more credit? Would you give more credit to Coach Hugh Freeze because he was the one that actually acquired the talent that Coach DJ Durkin would have if he was the head coach? Or would you give the credit to Coach DJ Durkin because he had the wherewithal to be the guy that actually put in a offensive coordinator that just did his job on the offensive side and they actually develop the talent? Who would get more? Who gets more credit in your opinion? The person that got the talent there, or the person that actually developed it? Let me know what y'all feel about that. Is it worth one more bad season to get there? That's an interesting question. That's an interesting question. I did ask Dustin from the Ultimate Podcast. I said, would you be okay with these first two seasons that Auburn had being the way that they were in order for the next 12 to 15 years to be a dynasty or dynastic or great? And he said, hell yeah. I agree with him. But the thing is, would I want one more bad season? I don't know if I don't know. I don't know if the fan base wants to see that. I don't know. That's an interesting question. Ladies and gentlemen, man, before we get up out of here, man, we appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us here around the water cooler as always. Before we move, make sure you follow us on Facebook at the Water Cooler Talk Podcast, or you can go and find me on Facebook, Nicholas Frazier on Facebook, because everything that's here and there is on that page as well. So it's literally the exact same thing. So you can follow either one of those pages. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Water Cooler Talk. Of course, follow us on Twitter at CoolersPod23, ladies and gentlemen. We're trying to grow that Twitter following up. We're trying to get that up. We're trying to get that going there. So please do us a favor, and go follow us on Twitter as well at CoolersPod23. And of course, subscribe, like, share, and hit the notification bell button here on this channel, and hit the like button here on this video to help us out, man. We appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us here around the water cooler. We'll be back tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. We here. We talking Auburn football. We talking the SEC. We talking everything. And we appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us here around the water cooler as always. As I always say, your presence is always greatly appreciated. And we thank y'all so much for giving us a little bit of your time. As always, before we get up out of here, if all hearts and minds are clear, we'll see you tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Shout out to the home team, the 4-6 Tuskegee Macon County. Shout out to the University of South Alabama for giving me my degree. Shout out to BTW, my high school. Shout out to my wife, my dog, my mom. Shout out to all my family. I love you. As always, you all have a good one. Better yet, y'all have a great one. As always, y'all be blessed, man. And until tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. One love. And we out this mug.
Boys and girls of all ages, you're tuned into the Water Cooler Talk Podcast, the biggest podcast in the world. Yeah.
Thanks for checking out this episode of Water Cooler Talks with your hosts, Nick Frazier and Marcus Fitzpatrick. Make sure you like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so that you never miss an episode.